You like have a signal that says when you...
want to count down and do it together?
I did it, Dada.
You did it.
Hang on, 1 second. I started before you started.
Hi there, I am Brian Wannops, and I work here at Mamava as the CFO, and I'm here with my wonderful wife, Allie.
Hi.
And some of our family, and we're coming to you live today from Mamava's World Headquarters. Today we're taking over for Andy and Nikki and talking about 4 kids plus 2 parents plus 2 jobs and how we make it work.
And we're also giving away this Mamava onesie, so go check out Mamava on Instagram and follow Mamava there. And you can also see my Mamava Monday post from Monday about my experience breastfeeding.
All right, so we're going to ask each other some questions and then play a fun little game. So, Allie, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about our family?
Sure. So our oldest, Will, he's not here. He's at school. He's in kindergarten. He's 6 1/2. And then Posey turned 3 yesterday, right? And then Tori, how old are you?
4 3/4.
She's 4 3/4, and she'll be 5 in July. And then who's this, guys?
Greta.
This is our baby Greta. She's almost 5 months. I think that's kind of it. I'm an attorney. I work for the Vermont courts as a law clerk, so I kind of help judges do their jobs. And then Brian obviously works here at Mamava, and we invest in a lot of childcare.
So the question that everybody always wants to ask us is, what's it like having 4 kids?
Well, the first thing I usually tell people is that it's not all that different from 2 kids. I know when one of my friends had her 4th when I had my 2nd, she said having 2 kids is more like having 4 kids than it's like having 1 kid, and I didn't believe her, but it's totally true. But that said, like going from 2 to 3, it's definitely like not as big of a jump as it is from 1 to 2, but it just crosses over that little line to crazy. And people always say to you once you have 3 kids, like, oh, you go from a man-to-man defense to a zone defense. And I don't know if anyone watches hockey, but whenever you're in a zone defense because you're man down, that always just means you're trying to run out the clock and live to see another day, which is kind of a lot what having 3 or 4 kids is like.
So here at Mamava, we're all about supporting and celebrating pumping and breastfeeding. And so this is your 4th time doing it. Do you feel like you got it down, or is it still hard by now?
I feel like breastfeeding and pumping are 2 different experiences. And with my first, I didn't really love breastfeeding. And I've kind of grown to like it more each time, probably because each time the time to like sit down and just hold a baby and not have to think about anything else is more and more enticing. And you know, everyone talks about like breastfeeding with bonding, and I personally kind of didn't feel like that until my baby was 4 months old. And so now, you know, I know she's 4 or 5 months, and it's kind of the time where breastfeeding really gets super fun. But as for pumping, I feel like, as I wrote in my Mamava Monday post, like I'm only just now learning how to pump. Like it was super hard. I don't think I was doing it right for the first 3 kids. So it just kind of blows my mind that it can be so hard. You have to take 4 kids to figure out how to do it.
All right, so now adding jobs to the mix. So we have 4 kids and we both work, so how do you think we do it?
I don't know if we could do it if we didn't work, because being home with them all the time. But anyway, if that's whatever anyone does is right for them, for us, I just don't know. But you know, we have great jobs that we really love. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of coordination and preparation and scheduling.
Yeah.
You want to show them your hand?
Oh yeah, and so like I have a note to pick up our son Will later so that I don't forget to just not pick him up at the bus. But yeah, and we obviously have been lucky to have great daycares and child care that our kids love. So yeah, I think that having a job you love and having child care that your kids love is really kind of what you need.
All right.
This could go south at any moment.
Next question.
I can't. Sorry.
So in preparation of Father's Day, do we have any pro tips that we'd like to share with new parents?
Well, do you have any pro tips? You always like to give your dad tips to your friends.
Tips. So my number 1 tip for new parents is that you've got to figure out how to provide some emotional stability in your life. You know, because having kids is a lot of fun.
Such as this.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of ups and downs. And so, the phrase that I've heard that I really like is, you're never as good as your best day. You're never as bad as your worst day. And so it's having the humility to know that, on your best days, it's not just you having a great day. You let a lot of help. On your worst days, having the confidence to know that, it's just one day. And tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to try it again, and we're going to try to make it better. So that's the kind of advice that I would give to new parents.
Yeah, and I think mine's similar. Like mine's just count your wins, not your losses. Because as I always tell my friends whenever they're having a challenge with something, like some part of pregnancy and the first year of parenting is gonna really not go your way. Whether it's getting pregnant, staying pregnant, delivering your baby, recovering, breastfeeding, sleeping, something's not going to work. And so don't identify yourself by that, but just look at, I had these other things really go my way. And maybe it's one or two things, something's probably going to kick your teeth in and make you cry. But most, so focus on the things that do go your way.
All right, so if you're just joining us, we are the Wannops, and we're coming to you live from Mama of Our World headquarters here, and we're talking about 4 kids plus 2 parents plus 2 jobs and how we make it work. So at this point, we're going to play a little game called the Newlywed Game, which some of you may remember. So basically, we've have 7 questions here that we've written down our answers to. We haven't shared them with each other, so we're going to ask the questions and show what we wrote down and have a discussion around parenting. So, so Posey's going to stand now. All right, so the first question here is...
what's the hardest part about having 4 kids?
Yeah,
Right?
what would you say is the biggest challenge raising our 4 kids?
And we didn't know that everyone was going to be here when we wrote our answers down, or I might not have written down our 3rd child. She's this one in case it wasn't obvious. So.
My answer is them outsmarting us.
Yes. That's a good one.
We've collectively spent a lot of money on our own education in this pod, and yet it's a very humbling experience when your 2- and 3-year-olds are actually a lot smarter than you are, and they show it to you every single day. So
should
I
I
would say
tell the
that's
car
our largest
story,
challenge.
or should we just move on to the next question?
Which car story?
With Will, the questions.
Sure.
So when our oldest was 2, he would ask questions to come back keep asking us to come back to him in his bed, and he would ask us a question, and it was always like, does someone sleep? Does a house sleep? Does, a boat sleep? And so one day I was like, oh, I'm so smart. I'm going to tell him that every time he asks me to come back, I'm going to take a toy. So I thought it was brilliant. Brian thought this was great. Do this for 2 nights, and then Will starts taking sacrificial toys to bed with him. So he'd say, hey, Mom, here's my car. Does this sleep? Does a house sleep? You're just like, oh, my gosh. So, yes, that's a very good one.
All right. Question number 2. What's the hardest part about dinner time in our house?
Oh, just all the peace and quiet and uplifting conversation. No, I wrote the fact that at least these days my nipple is out half the time, no one sits down, and the kids cry half the time about what's for dinner.
Along those lines, it's convincing our kids that we don't care how they rate the quality of the food we serve.
Oh yeah, they like to be like,
You want to show people how you rate the quality of the food with their thumbs?
Sorry?
No, the thumbs upside down. Okay. All right. Next question. Father's Day is this Sunday. What would you say is my number 1 quality as a dad?
Do you want to put yours out there first?
I will put mine out there first. So my answer is what I like to call cats in the cradle guilt. So the old, Cat Stevens song, Cats in the Cradle about, a child growing up too fast and the father not spending time with him. So that song plays on repeat in my head multiple times a day whenever my kids ask me to do anything with them. And so I like to think that that's my, inspiration for spending more time with them and doing things with them, before they get too old.
Well, mine's a little different. I said the joyous look on your face whenever you look at our kids, like when they come home. I feel like it's so sweet.
All right, next question. So last month was Mother's Day. So what do we think is your number 1 quality as a mom?
Mine's a little sappy, but I'm a little sappy. I said being a teacher and a student. I feel like I really like teaching our kids, and I also really love learning from them.
That's good. So I'm similar. So I say persistent in teaching our kids how to be independent. And so I'd say that Allie is way better at that. Is way better at that than I am in terms of having our kids do things on their own and teaching them to do things for themselves. I think that's a very important trait to have in our kids. And the wheels are starting to come off here a little bit. All right, next question. What's the best thing a partner can do to support a breastfeeding parent?
Well, I think that you've been an incredibly supportive breastfeeding co-parent. So what do you think you do that has been?
I would say empathy and asking the question, what can I do for you right now?
Yeah. I think that that's really similar to what I wrote. I wrote awareness of the challenges and unwavering support. Also cleaning,
Yes.
because I know when I tell people that you clean my pump parts, they're like, what? But I think men have to see, or whatever your partner is, you have to see how much mental energy goes into like taking them apart, making sure you're not missing something, putting it back together. So, here, can we give this back to Tori, please?
Number 6, we have name just one thing you miss from our pre-kid life. Just one thing. You go
I
first.
joked Tinder, but that wasn't available before we had kids. So I said long dinners with girlfriends that you just didn't have to plan or anything.
So I said our sanity and a clean car.
Oh, yeah,
That I
your
really
car's
miss.
disgusting.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. All right. So the last question here. Point, you want to come back for the last question? Okay, no. All right. What do you think is the best thing about how we're raising our family?
Again, being child, I'd say, it's hard, but we're living our dream, and it wouldn't be everyone's dream, but, it's still what we wanted, and it's most days I wouldn't trade it,
So mine is being married to an amazing co-pilot.
Why
Here's my car. It's outside. Yeah. Thanks, Posey.
outside?
We're outside. It's parked on the street.
So that's kind of all we have for today. Please follow Mama on Instagram, and thanks for watching. And if you have any questions you want to ask us about why we did this, please feel free to leave your comments. Thanks so much. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.